What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. You duels that have been around my videos for a while know that I do these all in one take to keep that market content fresh, never frozen, to get it to you on time. So my allergies are killing me today. Forgive me if I stop to take a drink. That being said, Warrock Mountain was by far on my worst buys and buyouts of 2021, and it's no different here in early 2022. The OCG gave them new support. I was proud when it stayed there for a little bit, and now you see a spike in the graph that happened that we covered. I said I don't think this is good, and once again proving me right. There's the backside slope of the mountain happening on the chart, and while that says 350, people buying in are getting it at $1.77, listed at a low of $1.50, top rated seller $1.76 where you could take them, and it does go up somewhat quickly to $2.50 on this fallout, but famous words from a stream: test before you invest. While I'm not a financial advisor channel, I do think it's pretty good if you're going to get a stack or mountain of a card to make sure that it's actually going to have some sort of impact or hype when the cards get here. While Rogue is more expensive than ever, I don't think there's a lot of hype behind Warrocks even with their new card. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. We've seen this happen several times. I know Farfa's sitting on his stack over in the EU, but to see this trend on the American market happen multiple times now and people not really learn their lesson, I do wonder where the future of this card goes one day. Will it actually even end up in the 2022 Megatons, as they're so desperate to actually find how they're going to fill those out as well? Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily is having a huge sale on a ton of their pre-orders. Code What's Good 10 for 10% off, and to support the channel directly will work over on the site. And I do like the look at a lot of the $600 case of Ghosts from the Past 2, Battle of Chaos booster box individuals looking very nice, as well as their cases. Speed Duel GX Academy box. They are blowing out product right now, and funny enough, the topic of today's video will actually be how a lot of products underperformed from 2021, but I do really like the look of Ghosts from the Past 2 after the hype beasting of the first set. The second one seems a lot more in tune with how it could end up going, but that's still pure speculation. And I really do also like the GX Duel Academy box. I believe that was supposed to release in the winter, the predecessor to the Battle City box that was really good and ended up doubling plus in value, but there's only one Speed Duel box a year at this point now, and it kind of took the slot of the Legendary decks. GX is a huge fan favorite. Let's see how that goes. And Legendary Duel Season 3 also has a lot of eyes on it, with the official glam being Bakura. Why isn't it Jaden? Cried Twitter. Along with, well, there's Sunrise and the Yusei cards and the Dark Magicians as well. Where's the good cards? No, we need reprints of some of those, but it is interesting that it's not like the higher end on the actual box art, leading people to go, wait, could this be missing, that be missing? After Legendary Duel Season 2, I don't think a lot will be, but it does kind of raise an eyebrow on that set. Now let's go ahead and talk about the market crashing. Oh my gosh, Master Duel is killing the game. A lot of these prices were falling out during the naturally cooling winter market, combined with a lot of events getting canceled on top of it. We have now Pasadena and Vegas confirmed, along with the regional season back to remote duels. I feel like when we're looking through the actual market itself, you also have people preparing to pivot. Baronet de Fleur, I didn't see it going back under triple digits, but it did. I covered that a while ago, and it sat just $5 under where it's been since then. I feel like that's a lot of people preparing to leave Sword Soul as we do get the Brave token engine in Grand Creators, or prepared to go to a different deck. Or there's also ban list fears. Will we still be playing this? How will they hit Sword Soul on the list once it gets here someday? You guys gotta remember, there's multiple factors. It's not just Master Duel is killing the game. But I will say, for the sealed on this and many other sealed, it is pretty interesting. This is bottom out to where vendors are taking an L. The Ghost Rare is by far doing terrible at just around $50 now, I think, from even top-rated sellers, yeah. And you gotta think with Legendary Duelist, most people aren't considering that marketing left in the OCG, and in the TCG we're still down 2 duelist per duelist pack here, and that's realistically what it is an old school duelist pack now with a ghost rare inside, and that's why this is failing compared to, say, past legendary duelists. And the only one to ever perform this badly up front was legendary duelist Sister of the Rose, which long term turned out very well, and I do think that this one could as well. Speedroid, Leerlust, they're both fan favorites. You have a top-end meta card in here. Over time, I think this could do well, but a combination of the waves and delays and those kinds of things have really messed up modern product to a degree versus what we had before for the casual sector. Like this, the Ghost Rare obviously outperformed, and DM era sets end up doing really well over time, where you saw eventual buyouts on God Slime with the Structured X. It's actually cooled off since, and Ancient Chant. Even with these coming out damaged, the Sealed performed very well over time for a Duelist pack, now at $80 a booster, and for Duelist packs, that's way better than, say, a core set. And for a Legendary Duelist, though, it's still underperforming versus a lot of them when we talk about Rage of Raw, and that had a Ghost Rare God card in it, where this has a Ghost Rare of a Synchro Dragon from, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that is it Arc V? I'm pretty sure not Zexal. I'm pretty sure that's Arc V kind of era-esque stuff, but I did not watch Zexal or Arc V. It's something actually onto my to-do list in the future. Looking through here, though, it just doesn't have as much going for it currently as other legendary duels, besides its meta impact with the Leerlusk as well as Baronnet de Fleur. Then we have the 2021 tins, which were waved to heck. This is one that we actually experienced 3+ waves of, if I recall. And then looking through, we've had cool-offs on a lot of the cards as competition from those waves has heated up. You don't have the Dragoon pop-off from the ban list that happened for the 2020 tins. Remember, these also were going downward, although I think they stopped around 180-ish, where these are bottoming out at 160 per case, and people are trying to get their money out, where you're not seeing the old market crash. That's another thing to point out here. Oh, it's killing the entire market, nobody's spending their money on cards. No, it's not really killing older parts of the market. That's part banless speculation when cards like this are falling down, and also you're not seeing the sealed suddenly tank and people trying to fire sell. But the singles within even the meta game, they're teetering in interesting ways. Like Zeus got representation, I think, at a decent amount at the YCS, and there's a TCG article on how sales rates really spiked right after that. And then Master Duel does have people grabbing some physical cards, but a lot of people are still concentrating on that game as it's so new. While that's taking away a bit, I will give it credit. Master Duel is not the reason for these prices being here. It's not like it's suddenly happening. This has been happening over time. Maximum Gold El Dorado, I see a sale for this like everywhere. GameStop and Best Buy even, and now over here it's like half price retail. People are taking a loss to sell at this price shipped, and I can't blame them, and that comes down to the singles and short printing. Access code is like a pull rate of 1.5 per case, and then what else are you trying to spend $30 a pack on? Absolutely nothing at all. You would be much better off buying the singles with this set, period. Even Access Code Talker, who is not even 1.5x a booster pack at this point. You can get a near mint at $41. So that's why Maximum Gold, despite it being so hype, remember, there were polls that I actually put up where Maximum Gold and the Brothers of Legend were considered perhaps set of the year towards their release. Once we knew the entire set list, they've fallen off, partly due to ratios, and also partly due to waves in their product. Speaking of Brother, it's barely beating what would be the average price of a box at $60, despite Droplet, and that's Legendary Duel Season 3 taking a lot of wind out of the sails, with people speculating that double dose of Jaden, how likely would it be for Bane and Gold to be not in that pack then, and that really crushed these prices. Magician's Souls has speculation with Battle of Chaos coming out and people looking at it, but then there's still that potential reprint on the horizon for it. And then you've got Droplet and Nibiru, with Droplet being so short and frustrating that people got all secret rare packs and still didn't see a Droplet in their entire box. How funny is that? I think there's a lot of penny stocks to be looking around this set for sure. This is the cheapest Allure of Darkness by far in ages. Relinquished Anima is really good if we look at All Mirage's history as an option just to have for your extra decks. The Stealth Kraken deck is really good as a stun deck, and I feel like is underestimated. There's so many things in the lower end of this to be looking at as singles, not packing it out as boxes. But when we look at Battle of Legend Armageddon, 10,000 Dragon was a single you could only get this way, and came on the hype of Pokemon and people trying to diversify investments, and Charlie single-handedly, Moist Critical, buying enough of the set to spike it on the market, and then people following in his footsteps. Interesting enough, all those $1,200 10,000 Dragons have disappeared again without much of a sales rate, although this one was at 1,000. I don't know if that's maybe $200 shipping or whatever, and then a 1,700 sale, and a lot of them sitting here at 1,500 now. So the single actually rebounding a little versus that flat line at 1,200 again. But the inside of this set really underperforming, yet the boxes are still way up there versus the modern one. Dragoon's just not a great follow in the footstep. Who wants a Leviathan over a Utopia? Maybe plant format players who are giving up on the Ghost or Ultimate Rare. I do remember people were harsh on the Ulti back in the day. There's just not a lot going for Brothers on the top end, with looming reprints possible for a lot of the cards we were hyped that it actually got. Then I already covered Synchrostorm. Burst of Destiny. Why isn't this just skyrocketing to the moon? The set's insane. It's absurd. I guess it failed compared to Eternity Code and Rise of the Duelist. Echo and the Rise were both short printed. This was fully printed and also waived to a degree to where people got them in later, yet it's overperforming versus a typical booster box. This isn't a fail, and if you think a long-term investment in terms of boxes means a couple of months, I think you've lost your marbles. Not everything is going to be Ghost from the past. It's more expensive when it's in your hand from your pre-order. People really expect some crazy turnaround on boxes like this, and while it does have Ecclesia for the Alba Strike structure deck, a lot of these cards and singles are going back down as they naturally do once people get what they initially wanted. The market chills on that. Lord of the Heavenly Prison spiked back up to 30, now it's back down to 20. Small World got its moment of hype, was 34, now it's back under 20. Mo Yi and Sword Soul, oh my gosh, the crazy pre-sales, then down to a solid 40, now it's under 30, as again, people are considering the ban list. So, the multiple factors are, yes, is Master Duel perhaps a factor right now in the market chilling a little? Absolutely. I remember when Pokemon X and Y came out and Yu-Gi-Oh! Was in such a dead point that people were playing X and Y and they were throwing tournaments for those at my locals instead of for Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit. And right now, the format to a lot of people feels figured out, and a lot of people are looking at Master Duel and that OCG ban list and shiny eyes over there. Yeah, that's going to hurt the physical a little in a short-term fashion, but I think in the long term, it's the gateway we've absolutely needed for Yu-Gi-Oh! For a lot more eyes on this, and a ton of people are going to give Yu-Gi-Oh! A try again, especially when physical is back here. But that's not what's killing things or slowing things down. This was slow way before Master Duel, so everybody who's trying to throw that narrative that Master Duel's killing physical, it's doing this to the game, look at these numbers. Well, that's where the numbers came from before this. Let's see how they go moving forward. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. What do you think about the cooling prices of product? I honestly think it's a good thing versus all of these overscalped craziness, and I still think they'll go up over time. When we look at Maximum Gold versus its earlier version, this is still successful. It's over retail. It's doing good, and the singles inside have aged a little bit better because they've had time to age, where this Maximum Gold has a lot of things that will do good for themselves over time too, eventually, and that's the great thing about sets. You can go in on singles early and make your picks and choices and wait on those long terms. But again, what do you guys think of everything happening here? Also, remember to check out Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily Sale, and remember, sometimes long term, if you're planning to Diamond Hand Sealed, it ends up being a lot longer than just a couple of months. It can end up being years if you're hoping to see those kinds of returns. And then also think about sales rates and then what you actually have to go through. Expected losses. I know, isn't it crazy being a person who buys, sells, and trades a collectible for a part-time, living any part of your life? But it's really fun and it's really helped shape my life personally. But again, not a financial advisor channel. Do consider that there's not just risk-free, high reward aspects to this. There's always risk whenever you're going in with things.